I'm A.
And I'm the
This is the AV Unfiltered Podcast.
Ask the Aunties.
Okay, we've got a very good question that we're going to answer today. And this is something kind of near and dear to my heart at one time. Am I the a-hole for not following American tipping rules?
Oh, this is
Okay.
near and dear to your heart.
Yes, I'm a former waitress.
Oh.
Yes. English is my second language. I may make some mistakes, Susie's saying. I, 34 male, white collar on a business trip. I'm from Poland, currently living in Warsaw. Recently had a one-on-one client dinner in NYC. To keep an anonymity, difficult word to say even when you're sober, to keep anonymity of everyone involved, I won't drop any names of people and businesses. We went to a nice fine dining restaurant. I spent roughly $650 on two of us.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
That's an expensive dinner by any standards. I tipped $50.
No.
After the client, American, had left, even before I paid the bill, he had another meeting. Also, that's partly why I didn't feel the pressure to tip the American way. And I was still sitting there. I was texting my boss, updating him on the deal and finishing up my dessert. The waiter asked me if something was wrong with the service. I said that it was great, to which he asked if there was a reason why you tipped me so little. I got kind of angry and I said that I gave him $50, which I found rather generous, so he should be grateful for that. I understand the American tipping system, but I refuse to be part of it as I find it dumb and crazy. And I do too. I'm just telling you, I find it dumb and crazy as well. But anyway, he then went on to explain how the tipping system works in a polite way. I'll give him that. I asked him that, well, what difference in his work does it make if I order a $5 burger or a $200 steak? He carries the same plate, same route, etc. Also, I don't want to sound like an obnoxious European. I think you're losing it there, bud. But when I tipped 50 euros in Paris, the waiter was initially so surprised, he brought it back to me, so maybe the problem is with the Americans? So basically, I refused to tip more and left. I kind of feel like the a-hole here, but I would go against my rules to tip such a crazy amount. Okay, so when I was a waitress back in the day, this was a problem because in Europe, they don't have tipping. The people who are your servers get paid a living wage.
Big difference.
Big difference. Here, we don't. I think when I was a waitress,
it's unheard of.
When I was waitressing, it was $2.35 an hour, and I still think it's pretty close to that, seeing as the federal minimum wage is only $7.25 an hour.
Right now?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's 15.
No, that's in California. I said federal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Federal, okay? So that's a huge difference. So this waiter is making pennies on the dollar, $2.35 an hour, and this tipping system, which, a little bit of history lesson here, goes back to the days of slavery. When an enslaved person could do extra work for somebody else, and they would tip them or pay them. So that's where all of this started out. So you've got a wait staff who's working for basically no money at all, just enough to pay their Social Security or something like that.
No, maybe not even transportation sometimes.
Yeah.
Or they're living with roommates. When you're a waiter, you are doing it at a high-end restaurant because you will make more money. If people can spend $250 on a meal, what's 10% of that? That's
$25.
$25.
So it would be a 50. So doubling that for 20% would be a $50 tip.
Yeah, $40 is like 15%.
Yeah.
Doubling it is $50. So, and that's for someone who is really at your beck and call.
Yes.
And more than likely, this waiter was at their beck and call, and most people at high-end restaurants, you rarely find very weak servers, people who are nasty or late with your food, or
they will
if
wipe your mouth if you
They're so
ask
great.
them to. Yeah.
Yeah, we went to a restaurant recently, and I was mentioning to my gentleman friend, generally at high-end restaurants, the cloth napkin is opened and placed on my lap.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, really? And I said, always.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everything you want. They start off
Mhm.
telling you the specials. You know, they're constantly asking, is this okay? Because you deserve to have a more grandiose experience. You deserve to be more catered to if you're spending more money.
Right.
And then you deserve to show your gratitude financially.
Right, and it's not fair. I'm not saying that the tipping system is fair, but the tip on that $650 bill should have been about $130, which it's not fair that you have to pay it, but it's the way that the system is here.
Yeah.
And in the U.S.
Now, I have been to a place where I forgot to plan for the tip. And fortunately, I was with someone who understood, and together we, did the tip.
Cobbled together.
But you know what? There's also this same tipping principle at nail salons, at spas, at barber shops.
It's gotten kind of crazy. It really has gotten kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But so back when I was a waitress at a Mexican restaurant in the Tampa Bay area, if people were from another country, waiters, my coworkers would honestly refuse to wait on them because they go, no, I'm not going to get a tip from them. And that was the case, and I was a sucker, and I did, and I didn't get a tip, and I had to.
Zero?
Yeah, because they didn't know. They didn't
They
know.
know.
They know. Now.
They know. They don't play the game.
No. This was way back in the day.
Okay.
This was way back in the day, and
I'm just trying to think of some way to educate
Because
the
I
Europeans when
actually-
they come to America.
so that should just be on the
There
on
should
the
be a
airplane
song
when
and
they
dance
bring it
person
in.
coming by the table. If you're from another country,
You got a
from
tip,
another country,
You got a tip.
you got a tip. Because we don't make,
Any money?
you may think we do, but we don't.
It's not a living wage.
It's not a living wage.
But I mean,
It's not even it's what is it? It's like a sneeze.
it's a boondoggle for corporations.
It is.
And most corporations, so in a fine dining, a fine dining establishment, you can stay there for 3 hours, and
Usually.
you can't.
Unless they're rushing them through, like this
But they
restaurant
don't-
we happen to be
But
at
they
downtown.
don't do that. So if you go someplace like Chili's or
You're right.
then they make their money on the turnover. So
Mm-hmm.
they're like, okay, can I get you anything? Okay, here's the bill. Okay, let's go. Let's turn this turned over.
Popular high-end restaurants who have a large turnover, they do. They tell you during the reservations 2 hours.
And that's more than enough time.
Yeah.
That's more than enough time.
Yeah.
Because it is somebody's bottom line. So my European friend from Poland, you actually ripped off your waiter. And I'm not saying that our tipping system is fair. It's not. And actually there was a restaurant, I can't remember where, they tried to change it so that they're like, there's no tipping here. We're paying the wait staff, $15 an hour, $20 an hour. And it just didn't work out. So they had to go back to that because we Americans.
I wasn't aware that
Yeah, it
someone
was just-
actually
yeah,
ventured in that
yeah.
direction. I wonder why it didn't work out. They couldn't make money. They didn't have overhead to actually provide the service.
I think because
Think about it, because if they had to pay all of those people
right,
that
so they
much
raised the
more,
prices. They
yeah,
raised the
no,
prices.
that doesn't work.
But you're paying that much anyway if you tip properly. But it's just a psychological thing. You maybe remember that they had to raise the
Absolutely.
prices. But
Yeah.
everybody's raising the prices these days. I don't know how anybody can afford to eat out, and so especially in this.
Well, it does work out better if people obey the tipping protocol, because then the money goes directly to the people and they get to make more based on the quality of their service.
Yeah, but still, it's just wrong.
Okay, now
Because
what
in
about...
other countries, in Poland, they pay people who work in restaurants a living wage.
Mhm.
And then you don't have to worry about paying extra. You know what it is up front. It's a much more to me, is a much more sensible way to do it.
But
You
are
know what you're
celebrities going to those restaurants?
And I'm sure if there's a Polish celebrity, they're going to the Polish restaurant, or a Spanish celebrity, or a French celebrity, or whatever.
Okay, so back in the day, there was an edict that when you received very poor service, you were supposed to leave 2 pennies. Does that still apply in this day and age?
No.
So
Yeah.
it was supposedly more of an insult to leave, well, first of all, pennies are no longer of value. But it was supposedly more of an insult to leave the 2 cents than to leave nothing.
Yeah. But that's not the case right now, but I don't know how people can afford to eat out, and especially in New York City, this waiter, I'm sure he's either living in a big group apartment, and paying like
More than likely.
$14, $15, $16, $17, $1,800 a month for
Yes.
like a bed sit or something
Yes.
like
Yes.
that. So it,
Cramped living
Yeah.
conditions, roommates, and just barely making ends meet month to month. And
waitressing is the hardest work I've ever done. It really is,
you're on your feet,
for hours and
you're
hours.
balancing
Mhm.
glassware.
Yeah.
You're moving throughout
You're carrying-
small areas,
Yeah, I was carrying big
trays.
trays laden down with tons of Mexican food, just like this. I had to carefully put it on there.
Yeah,
had to
and
not spill
navigating-
on you. It's
Navigating
it's hard work.
swinging doors without red lights and green lights.
Yeah, I got a bloody nose one time running into somebody.
my.
Yeah,
Oh my. And I think it's arrogant. They say Americans are arrogant when we travel. That was quite arrogant to understand the rules and then still
and
ignore them.
completely flout them. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. With that being said,
We've slammed you enough,
Yes.
you uppity European. Stop. But I'd go out with you. Intermittent! $650 my tab, baby. Yes, I won't cover your tip.
anyway, happy dining. I am A,
And I'm B.
and this is the AV Unfiltered Podcast.
Ask the auntie.